Hello, everyone. Today we have a special guest. Her name is Taylor De Grande. She's a consultant with Beth David Consulting. How are you, Taylor?
Unstoppable.
Unstoppable. You're always unstoppable. That's awesome.
That's the energy.
Awesome. So today we're going to talk about a very bothering topic for business owners. Every business owner wants to be separated from his business, but still make money. So they want to be business owners, but not business operators. They want to be in Miami having a nice drink while the money is being made by the operator. So today we're going to talk about how to get there. So Taylor, what is your take about it? What's the first steps that the business owner is supposed to take in order to reach the point of being separated from his own business?
Yeah, I would say from the experience of all the entrepreneurs that we work with, and these are from CEOs and founders, all different industries, all across the globe, many of whom all run into this point where they feel that they're too critical to the business. They got into it because they wanted to be an entrepreneur, but they find that everything is on them and they're doing everything, wearing too many hats.
That's
And
right.
so the number one thing that we find through Patrick, Tom, some of the expert operators within the consulting division is helping them realize who they need in order to delegate some of their tasks. So they're working more on the business versus in the business. So it really starts with finding out who rather than how, and creating a team around you that can help you delegate your tasks, where then you're working on the vision and they're working on the day-to-day operation.
And how this process really works. So if me, for example, as a business owner, how can I get there? What will be the steps for me to try to create this vision, or the resources that I can get in order to get there?
Great question. And the number one thing is learning from other people who've already done it. And so
It's a
there's a
big
lot of
thing.
business owners, yeah, they've gone through this, and I'm sure you have too. Okay,
Yeah.
I've had to learn, speaking for yourself or other business owners, to figure out who do I need in order to do that. So instead of you trying to figure it out yourself, seek mentorship or seek conversations from people who've actually already done it, and then you can learn from them on who you need. And a really interesting activity that we give often to entrepreneurs that I'll share with you, that some of those who are watching this may find valuable, is for a week straight, let's say from Monday to Sunday, if you have a notepad, and on a notepad, you want to use like a notepad versus your phone, because then you're not distracted by your phone.
Right.
And from when your workday starts to when it ends, to write down everything that you do on a daily basis. And then at
That's
the end of
awesome.
that week, yeah. And then at the end of the week, go back through that and start making a list, like categorizing. One list is going to be everything that you should be doing because you're the CEO, you're the founder, your skill sets. That's what you should continue doing. Then you have a category and it's like, okay, maybe this should be, maybe you have an assistant. My assistant could be doing that. Why am I still doing that? Or why am I doing a job that's maybe like a $15, $20 an hour job? I don't have anyone to currently do that, but that's my next hire. Or that's something that could be automated. And you start putting that next to the task that you're doing. And then you start identifying who you need to hire or what you need to automate to remove some things off your plate. So then you can focus on things that make the company money and exponential growth within the organization.
Yeah, that's awesome advice. What I did after this practice, which in the beginning, when one of my consultants asked me, what do you do on a daily basis? I said, not much. I just sell a bit and I do a little bit of marketing, but I don't do really much. And then he said, okay, so let's do that. And I started to create this list. And the list was gigantic. It was a huge list. And then we took this list that you are proposing and we started to create a map of the future structure of the business. So in the beginning, let's say CEO was Lior, and marketing, Lior, and sales, Lior, and all those buckets. And then in the future, we started to fill them with people. And then it became like a company versus one person that's doing everything.
100%. You almost, I'm sure you didn't even realize how much you were really doing because you get so lost in the day to day, you get used to it. And it's like, oh, wow, I'm actually I'm the marketing director, I'm the sales director, I'm the operations, and I'm the CEO. Maybe there's a
Yeah,
few people I could hire during and to fill that role that you're doing.
yeah, the bookkeeper and the accountant and legal advice and basically everything. But now, obviously, the business is a little bit bigger, so I'm not really filling all those holes. So it's much better. And obviously, the conversation now, it's also my direction is to slowly disconnect to the point that I'm just the owner and I'm not really necessary for the business to survive. So if I won't be there for a month, it's all good.
Right. And I'm curious, out of all those roles, once you stepped away from them and hired them, which one do you feel out of whether it be finance, legal, sales, marketing, that you still stay in more so than the others just because you are the founder, you are the CEO, and that's your role?
I think the vision. So I'm visionary. I like to create great products. I like to see the existing problems in the marketplace and how my products will solve them. So we have about 9 products that we created. Each one of those products are laser focused to a specific business problem. And each one of those business problems, obviously, there are big problems. So that's something that I will always like to be connected to. I'm being fulfilled from that. So I'm getting lots of good stuff. Yeah, that's the only. The rest is, it's okay. I'm okay with it, but it's not necessary.
No, I love that answer because I often get asked, like, what's the number one thing if you could say for working for Patrick? Like, why do you enjoy working for Patrick, but David and what he
It's
does?
awesome.
Yeah, and without a shadow of a doubt, it's that he's a visionary. Because how do you drive people and attract top talent and want people to be motivated to work for your company? There has to be a vision that they're striving for. And if the CEOs and founders' vision is large enough where the employees' visions and dreams and aspirations fit underneath that, then they're going to want to continue to grow the company too because they see their future and their potential within the organization. So, I love that you said a vision, and that's why it's so important to have the CEO and founder. When they first start out, they're 190% critical to the business. They're so stuck in the day to day, they kind of get detached from focusing on the vision. Where when they get those key roles in place, they become more 30% critical to the business, where their team is operating it, it's operating without them. And then what are they focused on? They're focused on the vision. They're focused on exponential growth.
Right.
And so you need that team in order to do that.
For sure. And also about the team. In my business, in the IT industry, it's very difficult to maintain people. So if you have employees, they will jump for another $10 with a different company. They will just jump to different positions and different companies. We have no problem keeping employees because each employee is like a part owner of the business. We're giving 15% of our income goes to profit share. So they're getting a huge profit share, except of the salaries and all the perks, obviously. But the idea, we don't want them to have a slave mentality, that they're coming just for a paycheck and then the next person that will offer them something better, they will just go there. They're working for themselves. They're like self-employed inside of a business that is bigger than all of us combined. And then, people wants to be part of it. We have weekly meetings when we discuss about the business goals and what we're going to do. And the employees are giving advice of where they want this business to go to. And we're taking action based on all that. So we have basically 15 employees and 15 of them are business owners. And that's, again, it's part of the vision, right?
100%. And essentially, you are allowing them the opportunity to have skin in the game. So
Yeah, of course.
yeah, it's not just Leor going to sleep thinking, how can I grow the business, creative strategies. Now they have an incentive. They're also going to sleep. They're also spending their time. Okay, if I grow the business, I get 15% of the growth.
That's right.
Okay, let's go. And so the incentive compensation structure, Patrick's very big on that too when it comes to equity. And I don't know about you, I'd be curious. He has, so he's interested once it's offered, he does a 4-year vesting period. So it'll be structured up front, but then you have to continue working towards it year after year to get the full amount that's provided to you. So for you, is it 15% off right from the beginning, or how is that structured for you?
From the beginning, but you need to be 6 months with the company. So the first 6 months, you're basically on trial, whatever you do. And after the 6 months, you're entitled to the 15%.
Awesome. And is that with, because I know you've had multiple companies. Have you always done it that way, or what was it what was that point in your career that you decided to do that?
Great question. So I think we evolved based on pain. And with one of my companies named Developer for Lease, it was a company that I sold 2008. One of the problems that we had is that we were able to push lots of work, but there were no good resources. And good resources was almost impossible to maintain, because you give them great salary, but after 6 months, the great salary is not great anymore. Now, you can't also have in the business that every 6 months you're raising salaries, because it's a toxic environment, right? People just concentrate now on the next raise, basically.
Yeah.
So it was very difficult to grow the company without quality resources. So right now, each person in the company, they are top-notch resources. Each one of them, they are the best of the best, winners of different competitions, people with very high education in specific areas that we need them. Now, very, very strong people, each one of them. And I don't want any one of them to go, obviously. And because of, again, money is part of the equation. Like your company, for example, we have also a book club. So every month, employees are reading a book. And the book is not about my business or their business. It's about their personal lives. It's about saving money. This month, it's The Richest Man in Babylon, which is a wonderful book to basically to know how to preserve some money and make some savings. And that's the direction also to help them evolve as people, not only as professionals. In the professional world, they're much higher than me. I can't benefit them in any way. Each one of them is much stronger than me. But on the personal life, I've been through a little bit more than them because they're younger than me, most of them. And I think I can give them a little bit of books, of education, coaching, and so on. And that's also a big part of retaining them.
100%. And that means you're a wise man. You surround yourself with smarter people than you to complement you.
About the smarter people, yes, I agree. I'm not sure I'm smart, but smarter people around me, there are lots of them. They are very smart people.
I would say you're wise, which is a great attribute to have. And to comment on that, I love that you guys do a book of the month. We do as well. And for exactly that, because you're investing in your people, because you care about your people, but also if you're investing in your people, they're developing, and that is correlated to the development of the company. Because if your people are always progressing, so is the company. And so we have that too. Our book of the month, actually, this month is Atomic Habits. Last month it was Skin in the Game. It's a great book.
It's good, yeah.
Yeah, it's very good. It talks about business, politics, everything, history. I would definitely recommend it. And to say one more thing when it comes to equity and providing that opportunity to your employees, I'll share a quick story. I was actually just in Vegas so Patrick sold his financial service company last year, started it back in 2009 with 66 agents, one office in California, and then sold it last year. They expanded across the US, 40,000 agents, ended up exiting it for over $250 million. And many of the leaders within that company had equity because they built it over time. And at the conference, they were inquired by Integrity. That's a $20 billion company. They have hundreds of companies with them. The CEO of Integrity was at the event, and they actually brought up some of the leaders on stage that have, since it's been acquired, that they've actually been growing the company. So they picked them out of PHP, brought them on stage, and they rolled over their equity from PHP into Integrity. So now that equity went from PHP, which was a great company, to a $20 billion company.
Amazing.
And yeah, it's incredible. And like you mentioned, it goes for retention, because what does integrity want to do? They want to keep the leaders that are growing the company also within integrity now that Patrick's no longer there. And so it was giving them recognition for their hard work, but also keeping them and retaining them while they go through that. And the man behind who fought for that was Patrick, and the one who created the structure was Tom, which you are part of his mastermind there. And
That's
he
right.
looks
He's
at,
awesome. Very good.
yeah, he looks at me and he goes, Taylor, now you know what I'm doing when I'm not at the office. And I was like, makes sense.
He's brilliant. Yeah, you have very good advices. And I think also it's maybe we can talk a little bit about the mastermind as well, because I think also it lets the business owner see the next steps and what other people that did whenever they've been in their shoes at that specific step in the game, and how to conquer the next mountain. So this mastermind, for example, it's taking place once a month, and you will have a bunch of CEOs in different stages of their business coming over. And Tom, which is a very, very wise person, also very knowledgeable, he will be there to answer different questions and talk about different stages in the game and how to ease your pain in the process. So for me personally, it's a huge help, because I'm also trying to get all the time to the next level, and doing it by myself, it's very painful. But when someone gives me
100%.
a formula that was already proven to be successful, it's worth every penny. So it's awesome. It's very good.
Thank you. Yeah, we appreciate you being a part of it and glad you find value. That's exactly what it's for. And how Patrick and Tom approach the mastermind is exactly that. We've already learned through the mistakes. We've gone through the pain. We've gone through the time or the money. How do we teach other entrepreneurs so they can learn from us versus going through it themselves?
Right.
And part of that is the number one thing about having the right mentor is it condenses the time frame. Eventually you're going to figure it out. You're an entrepreneur. You're resilient. You'll eventually figure it out. But if what you could figure out in 8 years, 15 years, what if you could do that in 4, 6 years? What is that worth to you? What is that time worth to you or that money worth to you? So it's from learning from someone like Patrick and Tom, but also learning from someone who's a part of the mastermind like Lior or some of the other ones. Like you mentioned a gentleman you wanted to connect with, because proximity is power. The more people that you have in your circle that you can learn from, the more potential and possibility when it comes to your business and your growth trajectory. So there's so much that you can learn from what's being processed to the community that you're a part of.
In addition to the mastermind, there are also events. I used to go to the Tony Robbins events, the mastermind events. I know that you have now an event. I will be there in 2 weeks. And that's the third event, right? The third year that Patrick is running this event. Am I correct?
This will actually be the 4th year for the Bulk Conference. Yes. And we're super excited to have you coming up here August 30th through September 2nd.
Yeah, those events also, the value that I found in those events is that you can connect, first of all, network with people and know more people. And the other thing is you when you talk to people, you can see that some of them are already past the stage that you are in, and they're able to give you their formula of what they did and how they were able to reach this crazy mountain that you are going to break. So it's also, look, everything is helpful. It's just you need to do it. You need to get out of your comfort zone. You need to go to those masterminds, events, talk to people, network, whatever it is, but something needs to be done except of just going to work every day.
100%. And when it comes to events, and like you mentioned, you have to get out there, even if you're uncomfortable. Believe it or not, I was actually super shy, and I used to be super introverted, super shy. But I knew that in order to get far in life, I was like, okay, I have to put myself out there. I have to build relationships, because relationships is everything in life. And how do you do that? You actually have to meet people. And
Right.
so I found from being a part of masterminds to being a part of this community, I've recently gone to 2 other events, is it's really who you know. It really is true about who you know is how far you'll go in life, because one conversation can totally change the way you view your business, or one conversation and that one connection introduces you to someone who introduces you to someone who introduces you to someone, and that's
Hmm.
the connection that ultimately changes your business and changes your life. So, and I might be a little bit biased when it comes to the valuetainment community, but I would say that I don't feel that there's any better community of entrepreneurs that aligned values and principles, and they want to help each other. Whether it's them doing business together or them guiding and learning from one another, they genuinely are there to grow and scale their businesses, but they know the more that they give, the more that they will receive when it comes to their businesses. And
I'm
so,
also biased, so I'm with you. It's you know, I think not this mastermind, the one before. One of the participants said something that saves me tens of thousands of dollars. One small thing. He said, oh, it actually was Tom. It wasn't one of the participants. He said that when Patrick meets with people need to come researched, prepared, and with at least 3 solutions that they like to offer for the problem. And I started to do it. And my
yeah,
meetings became, instead of 1 hour meetings that I want to kill myself, became 5 minutes meetings. Our morning meeting in the company is from 8:55 to 9. Because people come prepared, research, they know what they want, coming with solutions. Bang, 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 shoot. Okay, let's do that. Bang, bang, bang. 5 minutes, I'm finishing my problem versus 3-4 hours of meeting that I want to kill myself.
100%. 'Cause how much time did that get you back?
Probably a quarter of my day
Yeah, which is
for
incredible.
life.
And yeah, and you learn very quickly when you're in a meeting with Patrick. We had a meeting one time and we sat down and we're all giving out these ideas, asking what he thinks. And he stopped everyone and he's like, you guys, I love that you're coming up with ideas, but unless you have numbers, you have research, are you giving me ideas for me to go do the research? Like me do the job for you? Because that's why you're here.
That's
Is
right.
you come up with the ideas, you come up with the solutions. I'm the end decision maker. But
Yeah.
what are we doing here? So that meeting ended very short. And then the next time that we scheduled it, we all had presentations, we all had research done, and um, much, it went a lot more smoothly on the second go around. But it's exactly that. Time is money, especially if you're the founder and you're the CEO. Your time is worth a lot. And so it has to be valued that
Of
way. And your
course.
people have to know that.
100%. But again, it's knowledge. Even knowing what to ask, it's a big thing. So now I know also what to ask about that. And I'm all about automation and making things smoother, and how to not to waste time and be more optimized and so on.
You could teach me a thing or two on that. Automation as much as I can.
I will be happy to teach you. Automation is awesome. So that's what we do.
I love it.
So So I think what I learned from this conversation is that in order to disconnect from the day-to-day and separate the business owner from the operator is to create a tier of management and employees that can basically take over your operations, and learning how to do it based on other people's experience, events, networking, and so on. Am I correct?
Yeah, and I'll say, just to sum all that up too, is to find the right team. Where it also depends on where you're looking to go in the business, because what got you to where you are is not going to get you to where you need to be, or like where you want to go. So
Yeah.
identifying who you need, how to find them, and then, like you mentioned, creating a compensation structure that's going to keep them. If you have killers on your team, you want to keep them and you want to motivate them. So finding them is the first thing, but then keeping them is the second thing. And that comes with compensation, culture, benefits. And then how you learn to do that, it's through masterminds, it's through events. And like you mentioned, and I appreciate you sharing that, Patrick has his event coming up. It's August 30th through September 2nd. It's here in Hollywood, Florida at the Diplomat Beach Resort. It's the #1 conference for business owners. There's going to be 3,000 CEOs, founders, entrepreneurs from all different industries all across the globe that are going to be there. And the whole purpose of that is to network with great people, but also it's 2.5 days of Patrick training on how he built a team, how he created comp structures, how he built his company to sell, and teaching those who are there so then they can condense the time frame and have exponential growth in a short period of time so they can work more on their business versus in their business.
100%. And I'm bringing my son as well. He's 17, he's ready to conquer the world. So he will also be there. And this knowledge is priceless. So I'm happy that I can bring him with me to this journey.
100%. I told you were a wise man. You were already bringing your son to the conference to be immersed in an environment like this. I mean, who knows what he's going to be doing 10 years from now?
He's doing business since he was 12, so it is okay. All my kids need to generate money since they are 12. And if they want something, they need to learn something. So if they want, let's say, bicycle and they're 13, they will need to do a certification in Udemy about something in order to get a bike. They're just not going to get a bike because they are nice or they ask nicely or gave me a kiss. So there need to be some effort on their side to grow in order to get something in return. So it's a different house. Most people think I'm crazy, but that's the house I have here. It's a bit different. And if any of you will be at the event, feel free to come over, say hi. I would be more than happy to talk to you. It will be awesome.
I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to meeting both you and your son in person. It's going to be fantastic. It'll be an incredible event. And I appreciate your time here today as well.
Thank you. Thank you for your knowledge and your wisdom. Thank you very much. Thank you.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thanks. Bye.